Hello everyone, my name is MrHurriicane. Welcome to the Jacksonville Jaguars Franchise Season 2 Preseason. Today we are recapping all 4 preseason games and getting ready for Week 1 as Season 2 in the series kicks off. Here are some highlights of the offseason as I acquired some free agents and promising draft picks, as we had 10 picks in the draft and many of them could have key roles moving forward. After last year's 3-13 season, it was time to make some changes, and we'll have a chance to see some of those new players in their roles here in the preseason. We have 4 games against AFC foes in this one. We start things off against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be jumping all over the place, showing you guys highlights and talking about individual players when the time permits. But here we go into the first game on defense, where our improvements need to be big, as a flag is down on the catch made by Tyler Eifert, and that was a holding call against us. This one is on Dwayne Gratz, who played left cornerback for most of last season. On 1st down and 10, now Dalton off the play fake, goes back to Tyler Eifert. Tight ends were our big weakness last year. We did not cover them very well, no matter who it was. Now at the 16, up top goes Dalton, and it's a touchdown grab for Mohamed Sanu. He jumps up over Devon House, and that caps off a pretty poor first impression for this defense. Now we're going to see the offense, which also needs to make major improvements. Blake Bortles is in his 3rd season, but rookie Ecstatic has a lot of supporters already after being drafted in the 3rd round by Jacksonville. After being sacked at 2nd and 24, as Bortles hits Allen Robinson on the outside. He's a reliable number 1 target. He's still developing. Only had 1 touchdown last season. On 3rd down and 7, against the blitz, it's Bortles to Julius Thomas, who had a big year for Jacksonville, over 100 catches last year. Now the 2nd-year tailback, TJ Yeldon, fresh off his Rookie of the Year campaign, gets about 5. Now back to the air as Bortles has Julius Thomas once again. One-on-one man coverage, that's the guy we have to go for, as Thomas has another big gain. Now at the Cincinnati 30-yard line, Bortles under pressure again, but throws complete to newly acquired receiver Charles Johnson, who came over from Minnesota. He's got a lot of ability. 3rd down and 9, Bortles on the money again. 1st down, Allen Hurns fighting his way down to the 5. This is a very good first possession for Blake Bortles. And on 2nd and goal, he throws a jump ball for Julius Thomas, and the first offensive possession of the preseason ends with 6 points. The quarterback situation is a big story, but so far Bortles is looking great. Back to the Bengals offense, flag down again. Dalton going downfield, and he connects. That was Brandon Boykin who was beaten coverage, and this time it was Devon House holding. Our corners haven't looked very good so far, and our top 2 picks were spent on corners. This drive ends in another touchdown. It's Tyler Eifert beating us once again. This starting defense is not looking very strong. Almost out of the first quarter, flag down as Bortles goes deep for Julius Thomas. I love what we're seeing from the passing game, but a holding on A.J. Cann will wipe this out and take us to the backups, which means it's time to see number 66 overall 3rd round pick Ecstatic play his first snaps here in the preseason. His first play is a handoff for Denard Robinson as he uses his speed to get outside for about 8. But we want to see Mason's arm. He's got good size, mobility, and a very strong arm on display here as he hooks up with Charles Johnson. A fantastic first pass from Ecstatic outside the pocket, and still giving Johnson a chance to get both feet down in bounds. Play fake on 2nd down, Mason up top for Mercedes Lewis, and it gets picked off by Kadarrell Beachum, a rookie defensive back for Cincinnati. Now you're going to see our passing game take some chances and see what guys can do. That time the DB made a great play. Now the Cincinnati backup offensive players are in the game, and another deep pass connects. This time it's against the rookie. It was our 2nd pick, Michael Bryan, getting beat for 39 yards. 1st and 10 later, McCarron downfield, and now it's our 1st pick, Nate Bell, getting beat by Tyler Eifert. No corner on our team has looked good so far. At the 11-yard line, McCarron trying to run, and there's nowhere for him to go. He's sacked by Chris Smith. And we're hoping for a lot more pass rush from the worst sacking defense last year. Back to offense. Nataki Mason off the play fake, hooks up with a fellow rookie. It is 4th round pick Michael Riley, who is the 3rd tight end at the moment. Later on 2nd down, Mason with protection, throws, and what a grab made by Charles Johnson, who's making a great impression, has a chance for some serious playing time. He has 4 grabs already. Here's Mason on 3rd down, now rolling to his left. Look at the speed on display, but he still keeps his eyes downfield, and it's Charles Johnson once again. This is a great look for our passing offense, both the starters and the backups. Now inside the 10 is Michael Riley, and he scores a touchdown. Riley's a great athlete, still has to develop a bit, but he has size, athletic ability, and he can catch. And I went for 2 a lot in this preseason. We have to get better in the red zone. These are just extra red zone reps. That's a catch right there for Chris Matthews. And guess what? We're going to practice onside kicking as well, and we recover it. Just a great sequence all around for Jacksonville here. We had 2 seconds to go in the half, why not? Now we have an Nataki Mason deep ball upcoming, getting outside the pocket, and this does not quite travel the distance as it's intercepted, his 2nd interception in this game, and we'll jump right ahead to the 2nd half. Nataki Mason under pressure, but gets the pass out to Antoine Goodley, 2nd-year man from Baylor, who didn't really catch on in his rookie year. He's kind of a wide receiver halfback hybrid, and I really wanted to see what he could do. Now on a tight end screen, the blocks get developed, and here's Michael Riley. The speed on display again as he gets into the open field and picks up a huge gain to the 34 of Cincinnati. Now a counter for Antoine Goodley, and here's his speed getting outside. Inside the 20, Goodley up the sideline for a 34-yard, untouched touchdown. He has great speed at 5'11", 220 with some strength. I had to pick him up. Now we're going to run an option 2-point conversion try, and this one also converts. Mason pitches to Toby Gerhardt. It's 23-17 Jacksonville as A.J. McCarron off the play action is under pressure and sacked from behind by Ryan Davis. And McCarron's injured, and wait until you see who replaces him later. Nataki Mason later, a jet sweep for Aurelius Ben, just for old time's sake. It picks up 6 and Ben gets hurt, which is a pretty good sign that I should never do this again. At the 44-yard line, Mason on 3rd down and 4 throws outside, but Charles Johnson can't hang on. Catching in traffic is really one of his bigger weaknesses. Now Cincinnati's back on the field, and what you just saw was Robert Griffin III handing off to Giovanni Bernard, and a great stop was made by Dominique Easley. Later on 3rd down, Bernard up the middle and stopped by Brock Vereen. He's trying to make the roster as a backup safety, and that's a great way to make your case. Jacksonville offense later, Nataki Mason throws complete to Tim Tebow, who's playing at fullback now, trying to make the roster. We didn't have a fullback on the team last year, as Nataki Mason is sacked. These backup offensive linemen weren't the greatest. 2nd down and 17. Here's Antoine Goodley bouncing off one, shaking another. There's the strength on display. I knew about Antoine Goodley. I knew it'd be better moving from receiver back to running back. There you saw some of his ability on display. And back to defense, it's RG3 beating Nate Bell up top. We want to see more from these defensive backs. That time I faked the jet sweep to Aurelius Ben, settled down, but there's the pressure once again as Mason's hit once more. He faced a lot of pressure in this game against Cincinnati, and on 3rd down and 10, all he can do is just make a desperation throw that falls incomplete. We're up by 3 late in the game, less than 3 minutes to go as RG3 is picked off at the goal line by Nate Bell. He covered the slant beautifully, and Nate Bell finally gives us some hope in the secondary. Now we're going to toss it outside. Antoine Goodley's had a nice showcase in this one, and here's another good play as he falls forward even to the 25-yard line. Option play this time, pitch to Goodley. He's going to reach. No, not quite to the marker as he stopped. Then on 4th down and 1, little misdirection. This time Goodley has the 1st down. Now Denard Robinson has that 3rd down back roll right now, but Goodley's making his case to take it. And that was Centamule Parker getting hurt there at the end, someone I was targeting in the draft. But that's game 1. We won 23-20. The secondary didn't look very good, but the passing offenses did. And now we're going to jump right into game number 2 against the Buffalo Bills. It's another good defense that will test us. Early on, Buffalo to the air. It's Tyrod Taylor, complete to his tight end, and that is a Buffalo touchdown. We have a new safety tandem there with Byron Maxwell playing free safety and Sergio Brown now at strong safety. So far, not a noticeable difference against tight ends. To offense we go as Allen Hurns hauls in an 11-yard grab. Another nice pass by Blake Bortles. Now first down, there's the blitz, and an unblocked defender sacks Blake Bortles, and he's shaken up on the play. That was Preston Brown on the sack, and now we're going to see Nataki Mason get some snaps with the starters. Mason on second down goes outside to Allen Robinson, and that catch is good for 13. Mason still in the game, 3rd down and 4. Looking for a check down here to TJ Yeldon, but Preston Brown makes sure that one doesn't go. That gives the ball back to Buffalo. They're in the diamond pistol formation. Fake to Shady McCoy, and that pass is off the mark. We have to keep applying that pressure this year. We have more depth than last year right now. On second down, now Tyrod Taylor trying to scramble and instead runs into Jared Odrick, and somehow we couldn't recover that fumble. But Odrick now playing left defensive end. We'll see if he improves his play. And on 3rd down and 17, one play later, 3-man rush, can't get home, and Tyrod Taylor completes the pass deep down the field to Charles Clay. That puts the Bills in the red zone, and nobody covers the middle, and that's a LaShawn McCoy rushing score. 14-0 Bills, and Blake Bortles has not returned as TJ Yeldon takes a draw, runs up the middle for a gain of 10. Now Mason in a split shotgun look to the air on 3rd down and long, throws deep, and look at the interception by Leotis McKelvin. One-handed against Allen Robinson, quite the highlight reel play. Jumping ahead, it's now the backup's time to play in the second quarter as Nataki Mason's pass is on target to Charles Johnson. And I'll tell you guys right now that Blake Bortles was okay, he just could not return to the game. And now what you're seeing here is Giovanni Bernard, who was traded after week 1 of the preseason, getting stopped by Franklin Fitzgerald. So we're kind of bouncing over the place right now. It's Antoine Goodley once again showing his strength as a runner. I'm really liking that pickup so far. Now on 3rd down and 10, there's pressure, and the pass is off the mark from Nataki Mason, one of his worst throws we've seen thus far. Now in the second half, offset eye as Jameez Olawale is playing fullback, and the tailback is Marcus Tarpley, 5th-round pick. After a gain of 7, now a fake, and looking to dump it off here to Olawale. He's a pretty good athlete. He has speed and catching ability. I wanted to see him compete against Tim Tebow. There he picks up a 1st down. Offset eye again, pressure there, and the pass is jumped. Looking for Marcus Tarpley, it was intercepted, and that is another interception for Nataki Mason. At the 13, it is Bills' ball, up top to the end zone, and beating Demetrius McCray was Chris Givens, and the Bills continue to add on to their lead. It's 31-0, we just haven't gotten anything going against a very good Bill defense, and there Mason and Trey McBride can't connect. McBride was somebody I really wanted to see make some plays in this preseason. Bill ball later, and there we go. Nate Bell covering a crossing pattern very well, as he should with his 4.3 speed. Make sure that pass was incomplete. Offense back on the field as the pass is intercepted by Ronald Darby. Very bad throw by Nataki Mason, and you can just see the offensive line getting beat off the snap. We don't have the ability to keep up with this Bills depth. And here we have Demetrius McCray being beat once again by Chris Givens. Just not a good look for our secondary overall, but here's some positivity as Giovanni Bernard is stopped by 5th-round pick Stephen Cole. He's a punishing run stopper at middle linebacker. I want to see if he can make some noise. And there's another bad pass by Nataki Mason. He just cannot hook up with Trey McBride. Offset eye for the Bills as this is a stop in the backfield made by Jonathan Cyprien, who is now a backup. Just not the type of safety I normally roll with full time. He's a box safety, and he doesn't fit what I want my strong safety to do most of the time. Finally, Nataki Mason completes a pass downfield to Michael Riley, but again, he's chased, and all he can do is try to throw it somewhere. 9 of 21, 77 yards, 3 picks. A very ugly game. Not all of it's on Mason, but a lot of it definitely is. and for a guy who many had high expectations for, this wasn't a good look in his second game. But Stephen Cole makes another play as he stops a fullback, Jerome Felton. Great play to bring up a 4th down. Back to offense with 16 seconds. We are still being shut out. Mason on 2nd down throws, and that pass is incomplete. That was dropped by Charles Johnson, and he appears to have suffered a wrist or hand injury. Game 2 is almost over, 11 seconds left to go. Nataki Mason stepping up, loses the football, and it's recovered by Jacksonville. But let's just get out of this game. 40-0, Buffalo goes on to a dominant victory. We didn't play well whatsoever, and that leads us to our first round of cuts, which looks like this. Brandon McGee, Roy Miller, Nick Marshall, Tank Carter, and Tyson Alualu were all released after that second game. And I'm also sad to say that Charles Johnson's injury was severe enough for him to miss the rest of the preseason. I will update you guys later in the video. But there are 2 more games to go, and hopefully this one against Cleveland goes a lot better. It's the opening kickoff, and Denard Robinson gets outside into Brown territory, all the way to the Cleveland 40-yard line. Let's score some points this time. Blake Bortles is back in. He's going to step up, and he has plenty of room to run as Bortles runs inside the 30, and that's a gain of 16. Bortles with 3 receivers plus Julius Thomas. Throws complete to Allen Robinson, and that puts the Jaguars inside the 10 on a gain of 17. On 2nd down and goal, wide open in the flats is Julius Thomas, and the Jaguars are on the board. Another touchdown drive for Blake Bortles. He's playing like you want him to play here in his 3rd preseason. Cleveland now has the football. Johnny Manziel hands off to Isaiah Crowell, and he meets Paul Posluszny, who stops him 3 yards deep in the backfield. Later on 3rd down and 8. We get beat by another tight end in man coverage, that time working against Sergio Brown. At the 45-yard line, Manziel turns hands off, and this is Crowell being stopped by Telvin Smith. I haven't seen him much in this preseason, but I have very high expectations in his 3rd year. On 2nd down, Manziel down the middle. It's a 1st down and goal for Cleveland. That time Brandon Boykin was beat. That led to a Cleveland touchdown. Now back to Blake Bortles and the offense. Quick pass in the flats, and Tim Tebow can't make the grab. We stay in the offset eye. Bortles on 3rd down cannot complete the pass to Allen Hurns. He threw it way too far in front. They give the ball back to Cleveland as Johnny Manziel lobs it outside, and look at the interception by Devon House. He led the team last year with, I believe, 6, was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was very good at getting us turnovers last year. Now we have a few more snaps for Bortles in the offense as that grab is made by Allen Robinson. It's a gain of 15 yards. A lot of curls for Bortles in this preseason. And now throwing outside, the pass is caught by Julius Thomas. And we have another injury. It's Blake Bortles once again. He was hit a little late after Luke Joeckel was beat, so Nataki Mason's back in, and he floats it out for TJ Yeldon. 1st down inside the 15. We're now into the 2nd quarter, so backups are in once more, and the handoff goes to the rookie 7th round pick, Rashad Marshall, who's a power back. I want to see if he can get us some of those short yardage conversions. And here on 2nd down, going up top is Mason, and it's pulled down by Chris Matthews. We have to improve in the red zone. That's the reason we picked up Chris Matthews. He leaps up over Justin Gilbert for the highlight play. To defense with Brandon Weeden in the game, and there's a stop for Ziggy Hood on Pierre Thomas. I cut Roy Miller, so it's a wide open opportunity for Ziggy Hood to hold down that nose tackle role. On 3rd and 10, we get pressure, and down goes Brandon Weeden as he's sacked by Chris Smith. Later on offense, an offset eye, handoff for Rashad Marshall. With pretty good blocking and a nice burst of speed, he gets across the 30. Now in the shotgun on 3rd down and 11, Mason is complete. He throws out to Chris Matthews for another conversion. At the 44, it's a draw for Rashad Marshall, and he shows off the power here, going through 2 Browns defenders and picking up the 1st down. A nice look here for the 7th round pick as Mason fakes on 1st down. He's eyeing his man deep, and Chris Matthews can't make the grab. Good coverage downfield, but it still hit Matthews in the hands. And on 4th down, we go back outside as Mason hits Michael Riley for a first down. This drive keeps going. Mason 6 of 7, a nice bounce back game. Into the end zone again, it's Chris Matthews dropping a touchdown. He needs to make these plays for us. Later in the game, 16-7, here's a kickoff. This play's just funny. It's a muff kick, trips over his own guy, and then he breaks the tackle and gets to the 11. It was just a funny play. I wanted to show that for that reason only. So Brandon Weeden's still at quarterback, and he throws, and that's knocked away by Michael Bryan. Good to see the rookie making a play. Man in motion, 3rd and 2, and this handoff will get them a big first down outside. We still gave up a lot of big plays on the ground in this preseason. There's a long one for Pierre Thomas. At the 46-yard line, Weeden from the shotgun has plenty of time and still throws a pick to Craig Loston, the current 3rd strong safety on the chart. So at midfield, we hand off to Rashad Marshall, and he's continuing to bounce off defenders, and he's at 42 yards on 6 carries. How about a 4th down, Rashad Marshall? First down, although that was due to the blocking. Offset eye backfield, now Toby Gerhardt in the game. It's a fake. Mason going outside and throws it right to Justin Gilbert, as again we could not complete a pass to Trey McBride, and Mason still prevents the fast Justin Gilbert from scoring a pick 6. It's still another interception for Nataki Mason. We don't want to see those. And that puts Brandon Weeden back on offense. But a nice tackle here made on Thomas by Nate Bell. Our secondary tackling has to get better. That's a good sign. I move Bell and Bryan all around, by the way. Left cornerback, right cornerback, and nickel. As we get a sack here on a screen with our rookie 4th round pick, Deontay Nelson. At the 23-yard line, Mason hands off, and here goes Toby Gerhardt up the middle, trying to hold down his short yardage specialist role, but 7th round pick Rashad Marshall's looking good in this one. And then on 3rd and 4, again outside, I'm trying that comeback route with Trey McBride. That's a great route to test his route running ability, and they're just getting picked off by Justin Gilbert, so it's just not going to work. Brandon Weeden from the 11-yard line, we send a blitz, still have perfect coverage downfield, and get the sack with Ziggy Hood, who's looking pretty good in this game. From the 5-yard line, a 3rd down, Brandon Weeden from the pocket has a wide open man. We had busted coverage there in the end zone, and the Browns get a touchdown. It's 17-16, Cleveland on top in the 4th quarter as Nataki Mason finally completes a pass to Trey McBride, finally. On 1st down, though, he could not do anything on that possession, and so we just give it back to the Browns, and there's a stop made by Spencer Paysinger, who actually impressed me very well with his run defense. And then later, Stephen Cole stops Pierre Thomas, so his backup linebackers are showing some ability. Most of that against the ground, however. On 2nd down, here's some time for Brandon Weeden, and he throws it off balance just to get picked off by Brandon Boykin. I wanted a high-level nickel cornerback, and Boykin has shown that ability. There's a great highlight play for him. It puts Mason back on offense, and he checks it down to Toby Gerhardt. Nice catch. It's a simple play, but it's an important one to make. At the 30-yard line, Mason under pressure, and he's sacked back at the 37-yard line. But we still got a field goal on that drive, so a 2-point lead. Brandon Weeden trying to make a comeback, and the pass is intercepted by Brock Vereen. Fantastic play as Vereen's trying to solidify that backup safety job. We're trying to run some of this clock out. Here's Rashad Marshall breaking another tackle, but just too many Browns there in the area. They get the ball back with 1:25 left to go. Weeden's had a very poor game, throws under pressure again, and Michael Bryan denies that catch. Our secondary has looked very good against Brandon Weeden. Now here I call the cover 2. That was a big mistake, as that left Brock Vereen in an almost impossible situation. That's not Michael Bryan's fault, it was my play call. And so they get to the 41, and then Stephen Cole in man coverage just can't cover Pierre Thomas, and the Browns get in range for a field goal. But here they hand it off from 22 personnel, and Pierre Thomas gets outside, and he'll actually take this all the way, meaning we have a chance now for Nataki Mason to show what he can do with around 30 seconds left. Are there any heroics from Nataki Mason on 2nd down? Mason steps up, looks to run. He can do this very well, and he picks up 10. Timeout Jacksonville. At our 34-yard line, against a 5-man rush, there's pressure again. Mason has to sprint outside the pocket, and he's got more running room. With blocking, he runs up the sideline all the way to the 40, and now we have a chance to just throw it deep. Nataki Mason stands in the pocket, pressure there again, and a 3-man rush gets there. Incomplete, game over, Browns win. That last possession was nothing but third-round pick Ryan Cole getting beat. There was no chance for Mason to make any throws. So we'll go into the last game of the preseason, and I botched showing you guys that next round of cuts. It included the likes of Toby Gerhart and a few other backups. And so you're going to see the final preseason game now as Devon House starts things off, picking off Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Blake Bortles is back for preseason game number 4 as he hands off to Yeldon, who picks up a nice chunk. Now at the 45-yard line, Bortles dumps it off, and here is Marquise Lee, who is back in that slot role, and he picks up a good chunk again. Bortles has been a very efficient passer in this preseason, and here he has no option but to get outside the pocket or try a very tough across-the-body throw. He elects to run and picks up 23 yards, so we'll take that result and see if we get another Blake Bortles touchdown here. From the 23, Bortles up top, and Chris Matthews can't haul it in. Would have been very close to a touchdown. On 3rd down and 3, though, a play action, and you dump it to the guy you faked it to. I always love those play fakes. 1st down, Yeldon, and that was an injured Bronco. That was Shane Ray. Then on 2nd down and goal, Marquise Lee gets wide open, and Bortles hits him for another score. We've seen Bortles on the offense make the improvements we wanted to see here in the preseason. So we go back to the defense now. The defending Super Bowl champs have the football, and the pass is knocked down by Pusluzny. Fitzpatrick hands off on 2nd down and long as C.J. Anderson doesn't get much. And we haven't seen this guy much, but it's a very big signing for us. Rolando McClain was in on that stop. He is our left outside linebacker, and he'll play in the nickel. And then on 3rd down and long, we see a well-defended play by Byron Maxwell, our free safety. Later, it is Ryan Fitzpatrick on 2nd down, passing, and that gets knocked down by Rolando McClain, hoping his zone defense provides a big boost for our nickel defense. Now he brings some pressure, and Fitzpatrick on the move completes a pass to Emmanuel Sanders, who beat Devon House on the play. At the 20-yard line, Fitzpatrick passes complete to the 10-yard line, that time in front of Dwayne Gratz to Demaryius Thomas. And on 1st down and goal, it's C.J. Anderson breaking the tackle of Devon House and going in for a Bronco rushing touchdown. Jaguar starting offense has a little more time to play. It is 3rd down and 10 as Blake Bortles rolls outside, and there's nobody open, so Bortles runs and can't quite get the 1st down, but we're going to go for it. Goodley, the deep back, gets a toss his way, and Goodley gets outside, and he picks up another 1st down. There's 8 yards. So Bortles has some more chances to make a couple plays, and this time Bortles throws to Allen Robinson, but he could not get away from Aqib Talib. Looking for a 3rd down and 4 conversion, a 3-man rush. Bortles getting outside the pocket, and now wanting to make a pass deep. He's hit, floats it up, and that's almost picked off. And Blake Bortles is hurt once again. It's his 3rd time being hurt in this preseason, and he's played well. So we'll get an update on his injury status later, but now Nataki Mason's back in, throws perfect against the blitz to Julius Thomas to convert on 4th down and 4. Still a couple snaps to go with the starters as Nataki Mason gets outside the pocket himself, and he will run for the 1st down and slide near the 10-yard line. 6 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Mason on 1st down and 10. Throws complete. It's Julius Thomas, and he's stopped at the 1-yard line. That was it for the starters. We could not reach the end zone in the air, so how about a fake field goal? Let's practice this. It's Brian Anger rolling out, and Anger can't quite reach the goal line, but he got close. We turn it over on downs. The Broncos from their 1. Fake handoff, and Brian Stevens is chased, and the rookie is sacked for a safety, and Jacksonville takes the lead. It's now 9-7 as Nataki Mason retakes the field, and he will throw on 1st down outside to Aurelius Ben, who's been very quiet in this preseason. 1st down. Now Michael Riley in motion. The handoff goes to Marcus Tarpley. Nice spin move back to the inside, and he picks up a first down. That roster spot is now up to him or Rashad Marshall. Pressure arriving on first down as the pass is offline from Nataki Mason, and now he's shaken up. Blake Bortles was already hurt, and now Nataki Mason's out, and I cut Case Keenum. So we're down to Bryan Anger at quarterback in the 4th preseason game, which means it's time to run the football. Marcus Tarpley, it's your chance. 2nd down and 10. Here's a handoff to Marcus Tarpley, and he's brought down after a minimal gain. But how do we see what we can do with these receivers still? Bryan Anger rolling out, and I guess we have a chance here. I don't want to throw it deep. Just run it, Bryan Anger. First down, as they don't account for the punter / quarterback. Part of why I cut Case Keenum is because I wanted to see what all these receivers could do, so I'm going to try to throw it. Matthews makes a catch for about 7. Another short play here as Matthews makes the grab, and he picks up a first down. Bryan Anger showing off the arm, and now handing off to Marcus Tarpley, and he's inside the 10, and Tarpley goes untouched for the touchdown. Great blocking on that play, and Tarpley reaches the end zone for the first time. But I still wanted to see guys like Adam Thielen. I wanted to see Trey McBride, Chris Matthews. I cut Case Keenum to keep all those guys on the roster, so we're down to Anger making throws to Chris Matthews and looking decent doing it. They're all going to Matthews because he's 6'5", big catch radius. So it kind of was very counterproductive, this whole sequence. And then we have Marcus Tarpley with some power. He's trying to make the roster. That's a great way to make your case. But on 4th down, we couldn't convert. It's Antoine Goodley being bottled up there in the backfield. Tried some more misdirection. It didn't work out. So the Broncos take over. Stevens on 2nd down. Throws a pick. It's Brandon Boykin racing into Bronco territory. Can he win the foot race? 20, 10, 5, touchdown Jaguars. Brandon Boykin's 2nd interception of the preseason. He's stepped up his play. 26-7, Jacksonville on top in the 3rd quarter, and now a sack for Dante Fowler, who led the team with 7.5 a year ago. We're hoping for more consistency from him this season. Here's Bryan Anger throwing to Michael Riley. They can't connect there. Anger's still 5 of 10. Stevens later on 1st and 10. He has the ball at our 23-yard line, and that pass was jumped and nearly picked off by Nate Bell. In these 3rd and 4th preseason games, the secondary has really stepped up. Here we have Bryan Anger off play action. He has some speed, by the way, to get outside and pick up a first down. 30 yards rushing with Bryan Anger. Just the weirdest game. As Bortles and Nataki Mason were both out for the game, we'll see the status of those two following the conclusion of this one. So the quarterback situation heading into week 1 right now is quite scary. Will either of our top 2 quarterbacks even be healthy? We will find out shortly as we're in the 4th quarter of this one. Anger still throwing outside to Chris Matthews, giving us first down conversions. He's 7 of 12. Here's a 3rd down and 5. We're going to put Anger back in the pocket, and he can't complete the pass to Rashad Green. So we settle for 3 on that one. And later, the Broncos are driving in the red zone. Less than 2 minutes to go. Pass complete to Latimer inside the 10 as he beat Nate Bell inside. Now from the 6, Stevens on 1st down and goal. End zone complete as Rolando McClain was beat by Virgil Green. And the Broncos get a touchdown. It's 29-17. The Broncos got the ball a short time later. 51 seconds on the clock. And Nate Bell pokes that one away, and it was almost picked off by Brock Vereen, but that sideline was in the way. Then it's 2nd down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Stevens throwing outside and gets picked off by Nate Bell. And here's the 4.3 speed on display. High stepping, still probably a 4.6 high stepper, and Nate Bell has a pick 6. The rookie showcasing his coverage ability. Had a deflection the play previous. It's 35-17 Jacksonville. And now Nate Bell gets beat on another slant by Tandon Doss, I want to say. And I called timeouts to give the Broncos a chance to test our secondary. And on the final play, Craig Loston gives up a touchdown. Very poor zone coverage. And that's the end of the preseason. But wait a minute! A blocked extra point is how we close things out. Deontay Nelson gets the block. And that's how the preseason comes to an end. Brian Anger quarterbacking the team helps us get a preseason win against the defending Super Bowl champs. Put that one in the MrHurriicane series history books. But obviously now we are worried about what our quarterback situation is going to be heading into week 1. Here are the stats for the preseason. Now, Nataki Mason had 7 interceptions. A lot of those were just me trying to hit Trey McBride and test his route running. There was a Hail Mary and a couple poor throws as well. But Bortles played very well, and I wanted to start him heading into week 1 because he outplayed Nataki Mason. But both of them got hurt in the 4th game. At running back, Antoine Goodley definitely impressed me. At receiver, Chris Matthews had some decent moments. Charles Johnson was very impressive, but he got hurt as well. Wasn't so impressed by Trey McBride. Defensively, very happy with Stephen Cole's run defense. Great to see Nate Bell make some plays. Michael Bryan did as well. I didn't show much of Rolando McClain, but he had a very high mark in tackles on the team. 3 sacks for Chris Smith, 2 for Jared Odrick. We have to get more sacks as a team this year. The turnovers were nice, but they were mostly against backup quarterbacks. Here are the final cuts. I decided to release Craig Loston, Aurelius Ben, Trey McBride, Adam Thielen, and Tim Tebow as Jameez Olawale made the team, and Rashad Marshall beat out Marcus Tarpley. He ran with better power in the preseason, and he has a higher carrying rating. That means the roster is finalized for week 1 against the Chicago Bears. But now it's time to take a look at the injuries we suffered in the preseason. 2 quarterbacks and a wide receiver. And Blake Bortles and Charles Johnson will both miss time in the regular season. Bortles would have been our starter otherwise, but now it means Nataki Mason is our week 1 starting quarterback. Charles Johnson is out for 5 games, but I placed him on injured reserve. Because you can have 1 player return, it's going to mean he's going to be on the injured list for more than his actual injury, but I didn't want him taking up another roster spot if Blake Bortles is already hurt taking up a roster spot. So Case Keenum has been re-signed, and it looks like Nataki Mason has a great chance to make an impression with 3 regular season starts if he can stay healthy now. Defensively, for at least week 1, I'm going to be starting Nate Bell. The Bears are without Alshon Jeffrey in this first game, but I want Bell to cover Kevin White. It's a tough matchup in his first career game, but I think it's a good matchup for him to really see what he can do against a player as talented as Kevin White is. I picked 2 corners in the 2nd round and signed Brandon Boykin because I want these guys to play. I want them to play well. Now, Gratz didn't play poorly in the preseason, but it's just how I think we have to go into week 1. It's just me playing the matchups and trying to figure out how we can best neutralize our opponent's strengths. I feel that's our best option heading into week 1. When we take on the Bears in week 1, it will be 2 rookie starting quarterbacks facing off. Justin Austin starts ahead of Jay Cutler for Chicago. His skill set, though, and everything about him actually is very similar to Jay Cutler. Similar size, similar mobility, similar arm, but the rookie has better accuracy. Kevin White and Martellus Bennett are our 2 main concerns on offense. Their running back this year is Jeremy Langford as Matt Forte has moved on. And defensively, we have to block Pernell McPhee. I'm excited for this week 1 matchup against Chicago, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Nataki Mason can do. I went into the preseason with an open mind. Whoever played better was going to be the starter. I thought Bortles played better. I thought Mason played with a worse offensive line and worse receivers, but Bortles played better. He was going to be the starter. But now, things are shaking up a little bit. And we're going to see what happens in these first 3 games with Nataki Mason. He'll face the Bears, Titans, and Lions to begin his pro career. And so, Season 2 in the Jaguars franchise is upon us, and I can't wait to get Week 1 underway. Now, on screen, you see there are trade offers for Demetrius McCray. He is on the trading block. But I'm not willing to accept an offer quite yet. There are some good ones. 3rd round offers on the table, but a 3rd round pick doesn't help us right now. If someone gets injured, we need someone to play, and so I'm not going to trade McCray right now. If the rookies play well and Boykin plays well, perhaps it'll happen soon, but the trade deadline isn't for a couple months into the season, so we're not going to trade for a 3rd round pick that can't help us here in Season 2. Not yet, anyway. And so with that, please leave your feedback down below in the comment section. What did you think of this preseason? I didn't really do a good job giving everybody fair snaps, and I got outside the pocket too much with the quarterbacks and let them take too many hits. Next year, I want to rework the way I approach preseason. Still take some chances in some situations, but I need to play the preseason a lot smarter and give everybody a chance to show what they can do. I didn't do a good job of that at all in this preseason. But it's over now, can't change it, and so we're on to week 1 against the Chicago Bears. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for much more Jaguars franchise to come, and let me know what you expect from this season in the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you in week 1 later this week against Chicago.